Yeah, so hello everybody. Welcome to the Friday at 6 talk show. Today we are broadcasting from the office of Norisbank. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live from Berlin. We're going to start with some live action, some live music. Tonight we'll be having for you Mélinée, accompanied by Samira on the cello.
Also ein erster Lied, Berlin. Ich liebe dich, Berlin, wenn ich traurig bin, quand je pleure ein bisschen, tu sèches mein Augen, das Licht von den Himmel est parsemé d'un gueule, la couleur des Wagen, smellt der Blumen, le long du Kurfürstendamm spaziert ein blonder Mann, je mange une bratwurst pour reprendre ma course, c'est bien mieux qu'un Frühstück, ich habe viele Glück, moi qui aime les yeux bleus, en Deutschlandia pas mieux, quand passe la polizei, c'est un petit peu fort bail. Tu peux traverser mon pote, si tu traverses au rot, même quand il y a une limante, il te faut quand même attendre. Je trouve ça conventionnel, paraît que c'est culturel. À Alexanderplatz, il y a des touristes qui passent. Ce que je préfère dans l'Ouest, c'est le fantôme de Brecht. J'aime mieux le soleil qui brille sur Kreuzberg et celui qu'on appelle Gott est plus sympa dans l'Ost. Sur les tags du Mauer, y a des Mädchen qui pleurent et des flics qui sourient. Pas assez de checkpoint Charlie. Si pour les mêmes diplômes, tu touches pas la même somme, des deux côtés du mur, c'est réunifié, t'es sûr? T'as ce problème à Berlin, c'est qu'il fait un temps de chien. Elle se régnette chaque jour, ça laisse temps de faire l'amour. Par contre, quand il fait beau, on danse le tango sur les bords de l'Hpré. Phil Besser Cossinet, Berlin, j'étais dans la peau. Tiergarten, dans les eaux, t'as transpercé mein Herz. Das ist wirklich kein Scherz, surtout ne change pas. Bévard, ton charme à toi, n'envie rien à Paris, t'es autrement jolie.
Well, I mean, if Germany and France would work this well together in real life, then we wouldn't have that much problems in Europe, right? So give it up again for Mélinée. And we're going to hear more about her later. First, I want to introduce you my two guests here at the table. So give it up for Marco Lindgens, Head of Product of the Norisbank, and Guido Sandler, the CEO of Bergfürst. And out of courtesy reasons alone, but actually also because I'm really curious, I have to first give Marco Lindgens of the Norisbank. I mean, you are not a startup, Marco, right? Or why are you hosting this show? This is a show about startups, and then the Norisbank is doing this show.
Well, I understood that this event is not only about startups, but also about innovation. And I think we as a direct bank are a kind of innovative player within the market. But however, since August last year, we are a startup because we started being a mere direct bank, because we abandoned, so to say, our branches. And since that, we are a startup. So for 1 year now, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to deal with a lot of insecurities because there's a definition of Eric Ries with the lean startup. You have to deal with insecurities because a lot of things are changing actually at your company.
Correct. What do you want to know?
Well, we'll talk more later. First, Guido, do you think they are a startup, the Norisbank?
Well, I think it's rather a change in concept. It's not a real startup, no. Because they had the banking license, they've been doing business before, they have infrastructure. A startup doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
total different story.
Yes.
I disagree a little bit because as we abandoned our branches, we had to change everything. We had to change our processes. We had to change our infrastructure. The only thing that was there were our client base and also the IT. So
Minor
it's
problem.
not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to transfer or to migrate a client base which is used to branches to a direct bank, and we did that quite successfully, as we have almost lost no clients.
Yes, but I mean, if you do a startup in financing, you have to get a banking license. You have to build a core bank, software-wise. You have to find clients, which you don't have at that point, and you have to build up the infrastructure, also for reporting, BaFin, Bundesbank, and all that. And if you change your business model, you have a fundament on which you can do that. So, yes, it is a big effort, and it's a big issue to do, but it's different than building a new bank.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, so that's then settled. But what is more important, of course, is Guido, you have also a long history. You started your own investment bank that, like, I don't want to ask you how old you are, but like 14 years ago, or?
Well, I'm 50.
You're 50.
I'm a young startup.
But you know what it is like to start something new. And I mean, especially now with Bergfürst. Do you have a banking license now?
Of course.
And what does Bergfürst do?
What we do is, basically, we do crowd investing, which is new, deriving from crowdfunding, where you have a lot of emotional and involvement of people trying to fund and support projects, and we want to carry that into growth business. So investment into young and upcoming companies, and we want to make sure that people support these companies in market penetration.
Yeah, and who are your own shareholders? Because you had some news, I believe, today.
Yeah, well, we had two news in the last week. Basically, Dennis Bemman, who was founder and CTO of StudiVZ, he's our CTO also in this business. I don't know anything about programming. I know a little bit about corporate finance. So we funded this company for the beginning, and now we partnered with Berliner Volksbank, who took a strategic stake in our bank. Because they feel that we are evolving their business concept to the future. And today we announced...
Can you explain me why Berliner Volksbank sees you as an asset for their future strategy?
Well, because the cooperative idea was that people, in the cooperative banks, in Volksbanken, people gave equity to the bank and then borrowed money from the bank. So it was their own business which they operated with. And what we are doing is, we are funding at this point Urbanara, and people investing in this company like the product and want to support the company. So they become shareholders, but also clients, customers, and also advocates for this company to make it more prominent in the marketplace.
Yeah. Would have norisbank also been interested in Bergfürst?
Well, we are fully financed, so I don't think so. No, not really.
But this is like a new. Do you see them as a bank, or do you see them as merely as a platform?
Well, I probably have to expand a little bit on what we are doing at norisbank. We are a classical retail bank, and for these 500,000 clients and even more new clients, of course, we offer products for the daily financial needs, and only for private clients. So as far as I've understood, you provide funding sources for startups. We are not a startup as far as I've learned. And also we are fully financed, so maybe there's no real basis for us to cooperate. However, you should never say no. Never say never.
Because I think this is like also the importance of why we're sitting here today. I mean, there are some new financial models on the horizon in the banking world, in the financial services industry, that have not yet been fully discovered. A lot of things are changing. So this must be also a question within the norisbank. Where are we heading to?
Well, that's true. The key question that's, which is around is who will win the race. So probably within 10 years, how does the industry look like? Will there be the big ones, the big onliners who are taking over the advantages and the clients from the incumbent banks or the traditional banks? This is a very interesting question. If I knew how this will look like, I wouldn't probably be here, somewhere else. And it's a lot of time, 10 years, to say how that will work out in the end. But from my point of view, there are good reasons for banks and also onliners to cooperate. So maybe there's still a basis for us. And I think that both parties can learn from each other, and both parties need certain advantages from the other party in order to be more successful.
Yeah.
So the question is, who will win the race? I think both can, and the ones who will partner with the others maybe will be the winner at the end of the game.
Yeah. So, Guido, do you maybe have a very clear idea of how the banking world is going to develop?
Yes. I think the banking world will change dramatically. What we've seen in e-commerce will happen in banking. We don't need banks in the way they operate right now. Payment systems already moved into the web. Primary issues and secondary trading, this is what we are doing, is moving into the web. More products will move into the web, and the trading banks do within themselves, they can do themselves, but they don't need clients for that. So I think most of the client business will move into the web. And,
But they're
so the
internet
transition is
only, of
dramatic.
course, right?
Yes.
So they're on a good way of
course, this is the only way to go.
a good
yes,
position.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what would you do if you were head of product at norisbank?
Throw out all IT systems and build them new.
I wouldn't go that far. Because if you're talking about products that go to the internet, you're talking about very easy products like current accounts, loans maybe, and also short-term deposits or long-term deposits. But what about, let's say, investment products, mortgages? I know that there also are examples for this, but however, sometimes the client also wants to see somebody to talk about, because a mortgage, for instance, is a once-in-a-life decision. And this once-in-a-life decision, you normally don't do this just going to the web and then see, well, who's the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. I feel there will be a change to that as well. I feel there will be independent advice. People will go to advisors, pay for that. I mean, this is something that has to change in the industry. At this interest level, you can't pay personnel to give advice because you don't earn enough money. So what you have to do is you have to pay for advice. If you go to a lawyer, you pay on an annual basis, on an hourly basis. If you go to a bank advisor or financial advisors, you will have to pay in the future, and then you buy the product where you get it cheapest. So that will be the major change, and I feel, it was not fun saying get rid of all your infrastructure or your IT systems. I mean, I've been working in banks before, and in this startup, we built our own IT, core bank, and it is so much faster. You won't believe it.
Yeah, okay, but then, Guido, I have to say, it took you almost 1 year longer than you had planned to launch.
Of course, because I always want to be faster and ahead, and then sometimes it is not quite as fast.
Yeah, so you had literally a marketing department waiting for 9 months before they could do anything.
Not really, because at this point we already have 7,200 clients, and they had to get on board somehow, and they have to be supported somehow, and this is what our marketing is doing.
Yeah, and they were very patient?
Yes. Well, I mean, they wanted to see the first product coming out, but we tried to keep them patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because of course for you it's very easy to say, because you don't have like this context of being part of Deutsche Bank, having had a major restructuring. So is it then so much easier for you to just say, oh, you have to go in that direction or in that direction? I mean, you have less challenges than Marco, of course, has.
Yes, to some extent, definitely, because I mean we have no history on which we have to build or which we have to consider when we take new steps. And I mean flexibility is key. Mm-hmm. It's the faster one beating the slower one. So you have to be quick and you have to make decisions quickly. And and this is why I'm saying also a new IT system helps, or infrastructure for the bank helps. Yes, that is key, and it definitely keeps us moving very fast, even though we have to admit it took us longer than we wanted, yes.
Yeah. But in general, the whole market, I mean, it is all about confidence, of course, the confidence of the client. They have to trust your systems, the way how you work. I mean, these changes don't happen overnight, right? Or do you think that they will already be next year or within 2 years reality?
I think they will be very fast. I mean, I was really curious in the beginning when we opened our accounts. people were putting in like 25,000 euros, so not only 200 euros, but 25,000 euros. And the next day they withdrew it again in order to see whether it works. And then they called and they said, okay, we will bring it back because we want to invest. And I said, hey, why are you testing us with 25,000 euros instead of 200 euros? And I said, well, we just tried. So, I mean, there were lots of people paying in money and withdrawing money and paying in money and withdrawing money. So people are trying to see whether all this works, and so this builds trust and confidence.
Yeah, but maybe you also have a very specific target group, right? These aren't like the ordinary people.
Indeed, they are. I mean, we have two groups. I'm calling them the young and wild, which are the group that doesn't have obligations. So after academic career, they go into business, earn their first money, and they want to be part of young growth companies, take a stake in that. And then another group just as big are people 45 to 55 who seem to be in a balanced portfolio, and they want to have this new asset class also in their portfolio.
Yeah. So, Marco, what's your timeline, more or less? I mean, when do you want to be totally ready with to go on the new challenges that you are facing now?
Well, we have done a lot, so and still have a lot to do because, as I said, norisbank started as a mere direct bank in August last year, and so a lot of our products still have to be adjusted to the mere internet market. But however, we are quite successful. We almost have replaced the performance, almost, I have to say, that has been done beforehand by the branches. And so I have to say that there's still a lot to do for us. We are still not there where we want to be. But however, we are on a good way as norisbank. But you never know. We are a test and learn facility. So norisbank is still, this is our, so to say, entrepreneurial spirit here and a startup spirit. We try to test and learn and try out things and see how that works. And this is our primary role within the conglomerate, and this is what we do, and this is what we are focusing on. Yeah.
And do you have a lot of fun at norisbank at the moment, or is it only?
Ask my colleagues.
Oh my God, we are going to disappear and we are going to be abolished.
No. We will not disappear. This is a clear role for us to test things. And you can ask them over there, my colleagues.
I see people smiling. Yes, indeed.
Of course. We had a lot of fun, and because you see our rooms here, our facilities. These are, as far as I would say, not a typical bank facility, because we try to establish a kind of entrepreneurial spirit here. And we have
where will this lead to? Where will this lead to? What are we concretely, as future customers, are going to see from that?
Easy to understand products, transparent products. There are no little footnotes explaining with huge text what the product is about and what you have to be careful of. And on the other hand, we will provide these products via online channel, mobile devices, of course. Mobile device is something that we are still working on. I think the same is true for you. And on the other hand, also providing online services to be more convenient for the client. We want to avoid paperwork. So if you want to increase your overdraft line, for instance, normally you have to go to your bank and fill out a form. Now it's easy. You go into your transaction manager, so to say, and then you can provide that or do that via the internet. It's very easy. It's just a small step, but a very important one, because some years ago, the banks all had huge loads of paperwork, and now it's almost abandoned. So provide online services, provide the purchase of products via mobile devices, and provide products that the client understands. And also, this goes without saying, listen to the customer. Listen to the customer, what he really needs. And this is also possible, for instance, via Facebook, to ask the people to give their innovative ideas to us in order to transform refer them to product ideas.
Yeah. So Guido, one last question for you. When you now look at the whole market, there is a number of players. How many do you think will disappear within 2 years?
You mean in the traditional banking?
Yes.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Well, you said yourself that within 2
I
years it's totally going to change. So I want to have some hard facts here on the table.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is how banking is done, it will totally change. I think the institutions will be there, but they will be doing different business, own investments, all types of things. But only if you take the steps that you are taking, which I think important to take. And the traditional banks like Deutsche Bank or Credit Suisse or UBS, they will be there doing their own tradings and stuff, but not the traditional banking products anymore.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for these very two interesting guests that I had tonight here. Guido Sandler, the CEO of Bergfürst, but above all, this very brave man here on my right side, head of product of norisbank, Marco Lindgens. And don't run away yet, because you, of course, will also be very curious what our next pitcher will bring to the table. And we get a lot of emails nowadays. The Friday@6 show is getting a little bit more attention than it got before. So Rethink Finance asked us, hey, can we pitch on your show? And with such a name, Rethink Finance, I said, okay, you can be on the show. So can the speaker of Rethink Finance please step forward, take the microphone, and pitch for 1 minute, and please convince us all that Rethink Finance is the new hit on the internet.
I hope so. I'm Gibran, CEO and co-founder of Rethink Finance. And I have a question for you at the beginning. Does your bank finance clean energy, or does it finance coal and nuclear energy? I guess no one knows really. I think not even the banks know really. And that's why we deliver the most amazing financial products on earth. And that is to say, that's products that offer good returns, that are really easy to use, that are 100% transparent and 100% sustainable. So with these products, you know where your money goes to. And if you visit our website, rethinkfinance.de, you will see that we offer products that fit this promise 100%. And we launched a beta phase in the beginning of July, offering current accounts and savings accounts. And we've got overwhelming feedback from our crowd. And we also got coverage from the Wall Street Journal and numerous blogs from the finance sphere. And in the future, we will also offer numerous other products. And by that, we will accommodate all the needs of young people for financial products. That is investment funds, pension funds, or insurance products. It can be anything, so the possibilities are really endless. Especially having said that 78% of young people want sustainable financial products. So that's what we will do in the future, and we have really good partnerships that we have since a few months. And our network is really growing. And and what we need from you now and from all of your friends that you're going to tell about Rethink Finance, first of all, we need funding, of course, like every startup. We have really good attractive opportunities, and second of all, we need people, marketing, business development, and user experience design. And if you like the idea, or if you like the upcoming email address, just send us an email to thinkbig@rethinkfinance.de. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Awesome pitch. Was a little bit too long, but I mean, okay, sometimes you have to practice a little bit more before you come to the show. So that's a hint for the next one that will be here on the show. But awesome product, and it is true. I don't know if my bank is really into coal and nuclear energy. Do I care? I mean, coal and nuclear energy are also needed to charge my iPhone, but that's a whole different story. Our next two guests here at the table are on this side, Konstantin Wolff, he's the CMO of Payleven. And on the other side, Jonas Piela from Avuba. And to start with you, Konstantin, you are the Chief Marketing Officer of Payleven. Like I just said, it is a startup that was founded in the beginning of 2012, and you're now more than 1 year old. So we want to hear some results, because what you're doing, you're offering the retailers an alternative to let people pay through your own device. There are some other companies that I'm going to mention later on, because otherwise it's of course not fair to these other companies. But how many retailers do you now have on the platform?
That's a number we like to keep to ourselves for the time being, simply because we're a privately held company, and therefore, like, our incentive to distribute numbers is very little. And I'm sorry I have to disappoint you on the first question there, but I'm not going to draw like a number out of my head.
Yeah, but can't we do some kind of a range, like it's in between 1 or 2 million or something like that?
No.
I'm negotiating here. This will make
know.
you look very bad at the start of the interview.
I'm fully aware of that. Now it's an uphill battle from here, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, so I mean, it's a tough game, of course. You have a lot of competition. You have SumUp, for example, that is here in Berlin doing exactly the same.
Who?
SumUp. I mean, but aren't all these people, these retailers, are getting now? One day they get a visit from your salesman, and the next day from SumUp, and the other day from. So, what's your USP? You know that, right?
Sure, your USP. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Heard that before. No. So. Perhaps to give you a bit of light on how we see ourselves. So first of all, what we do is we offer a card acceptance solution for any small or medium-sized enterprise. So not only retailers, could also be restaurants, cafes, etc., to take card payments without any fixed fees associated to it. So it's a full pay-as-you-go model, and it's a very easy sign-up model. So now in our product, that's the first level of differentiation for us. We focus on the solution. I know I have to get a bit technical here, but it's a PIN solution. So if you know from your personal payment, yes, you either sign on a sheet of paper or digitally, or you have a PIN payment. Our product allows PIN payment, which many other people in the market don't have, which offers the highest security solution for the merchant and also for the end customer.
It's part of the philosophy that you want to make it look like as much as like the methods that people are already using, because you don't want to have all this fancy new stuff, because it will scare off people, right?
It's a mix of the two. So one, of course, people are very used to PIN products, especially like in the markets like the UK or the Netherlands, where there have been a lot of awareness campaigns that that's the only way people should pay with their cards is by PIN entry. And therefore, of course, the end consumer is very much used to it. Yeah. And secondly, of course, it offers the merchant the highest security standards. So if you pay with your credit card and you sign, you can actually call as an end consumer your bank the next day and say, it wasn't me. And then the merchant has to prove in the first instance that you were actually at his premises and you did the transaction. So in terms of fraud prevention, PIN payments are significantly better than any signature-based model.
Okay, so mobile payment. I mean, Square in the United States is super successful. You have American companies now also coming to Europe, for example, iZettle. So what does it feel like when you enter the office just on a daily basis? Do you really have the idea, oh my God, I have to give it all that I have, because there's so much competition?
I think so. First, when I go into the office in the morning, it's a good feeling, and typically I'm one of the first people to enter the office, so it's also empty.
Okay, so in the startup world, that means 9 o'clock or something like that, because people start so late.
I'm typically in the office between, let's say, 7:30 and 8 or so. Yeah?
Okay, and then you're one of the earliest.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
And into your point of competition, I think if you look at how many other payment providers there are in each individual market in Europe, I think the perception is that the market is, you would argue, overcrowded. I see it differently, because ultimately across Europe you only have a handful or even less than a handful of players who are tackling the small and medium-sized enterprise space. Whereas in all of Europe there's easily 10 times the number of traditional card acquirers who today offer card acceptance to larger merchants like the petrol stations of the world, the grocery retailers, etc. So in terms of, are there too many players in the market? I think a couple of handful people actually helps in the first instance to build a market.
Yeah.
Because today all these small medium-sized companies,
Right.
they think there is no card acceptance solution for me. And I think with the other people together we can change that notion in people's heads.
So how many, what's the percentage that you spend on marketing of the budget that you have?
A fair share. So it's let's say to come to ranges between 0 and 50%. How does that sound?
And you got funding from Rocket Internet, right?
That's correct.
How much did you get? No, I mean that was even in the blogs, right? So then you can share.
Okay, so let's say, well, what was the number in the blogs?
Yeah, something like 20 million. I read.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so first the blog was wrong.
Okay.
It's
more.
Perhaps. Ask the blogger. I don't know.
You're a tough cookie, man. I like you.
I know.
and Jonas doesn't get any.
But that's not my fault. You keeping asking me questions.
Yeah, that's
so,
true. That's true. That's solely
Should I
my
ask him
fault.
questions now?
Probably better questions than I will do. Yeah. So, okay. Before this turns into a gigantic chaos, and we cannot have this, of course, in the FridayatSix talk show. Jonas, you obviously don't have somewhere between 10 and 20 million of funding, right? But you won a TechCrunch hackathon. So can you first explain what Avuba does, please?
Yeah, so our mission is actually to fix banking, which sounds kind of crazy. But as Guido said before, like all those large banks should just like take the technology and just throw it away, sort of. What we're doing is we have seen that many banks today, they don't take advantage of the technology they have to actually provide a solution to the user that is like the best it can be. And so we're using this, and for example, two examples. For example, login with like all those major banks, you have to type in 10-digit login numbers and a PIN you can't remember, or like even 3 different type of numbers. If you wire money, you have to actually type in the recipient of the money every time again, and these kind of things we're fixing. So along the way of the bank account, there's maybe 100 different things from sign up that we're going to change.
So, okay, let's keep it at that. So how do you solve that? Because it sounds maybe like a simple solution, but it is actually, it's the identification at the start, which is super important for a banking product. So how do you solve that?
First of all, we've got a partner bank that we're working with. So we're issuing bank accounts through this partner bank. And second, we've got a technology that works on top of their banking system and kind of abstracts this to a certain way and allows us to be more flexible what we're doing. So we use this to be more flexible. And for example, the login feature, we can think of everything from these typical Google authenticator app where you have like two-factor authentication and just use these kind of things.
Yeah, so you rely then on Google for the login?
No, there was just an example where you have the different app where it generates a code on the phone, and then you use this to log in instead of remembering large numbers.
Yeah, but is it? I mean, it doesn't sound like really innovative to be really honest. But is there maybe more?
I mean, there's two things. Of course, in the future, we're going to do stuff like online payments, peer-to-peer payments, expense analytics. But what we found out is that banks take their customers for granted to a certain point of view. And we think that the customer wants to really be appreciated. And what our first step is to really create a user experience where the customer has the feeling, okay, they want me to as a customer. And this is, I think, something many people aren't experiencing right now.
Yeah, you told me before that you're even considering putting your direct mobile phone number into every account so that everybody can call you day and night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to do that up to a certain number of people, obviously. But absolutely, this is what we're doing in the first place. In each and every, I was just at the social media panel where we were talking about the social CEO, and we were talking about signing how we sign our newsletters. And I'm signing all newsletters, and they get all email addresses from us so I can get in touch with it. It's extremely important.
Yeah. Tell me more about the user experience, because if that's in the first phase really important for you guys, how are you going to handle that?
The thing is, right now, we're using the first customers or users to actually explore what we're going to do.
How many do you have now?
We've got, it's like, we just started, we got like 10, 20 people in there, but we've got, I don't know, some more.
Okay.
So we use this experience to really understand what the needs are. And for example, in terms of user experience, we do stuff where you use your mobile app to do transfers of money. And what we can actually do the text message is coming into your phone to authorize the transaction, and you don't have to type it in that app. It reads it automatically and sends it for you. So it makes it the step from whatever 10 steps you have to do right now to 3 steps in the future.
Yeah. So it's only mobile. Or is it also for the desktop?
There's web. I mean, web interfaces aren't that awesome as well.
Okay. So, but what are you solving first? Is it really mobile, or is it first try to fix the whole process and doing the safe desktop options?
I mean, there's more to it. There's also bureaucracy to it and customer support. So we're solving this. And in the first moment, I guess just out of operations, and we're gonna have a web experience, and when we use a simple web kind of iframe app to port to the different devices. But we're gonna have native apps afterwards.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of in what position you are right now. You get a lot of attention. You only have like 10 or 20 people on the platform. You're taking on a huge problem. I mean, do you even sleep at night?
Yeah, actually, I make sure that I have like 8 hours of sleep every night, because I think then you can keep up performance. But it's true. Actually, today I saw. I mean, there's quite some attention, and now we have to deliver, and it's going to be a mission. But so far, it doesn't look that bad.
That's true, but I mean, as you see now, also in the Berliner, even in the Berliner scene, I can say that because I've been doing this show for 2 years. Sometimes you have to deliver, right? So you are in that phase.
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, right now the first accounts are going live. People are getting first text messages, and now we have with those first couple of people, we have to get the processes straight so that we know what's happening. And once we've got this solved, then we can roll out more, obviously.
Yeah.
Or did you? I didn't get the question, maybe.
No. The question was going nowhere, because you cannot say the problem is too big, I'm going to give up, because you're in the middle of the process, right? So
True.
Yeah, it was the wrong question. Maybe I should ask Konstantin, because when is your money? When is your money not in the bank anymore? Because you have some targets, right? And their targets are pretty strict. And I mean, I hear some rumors that your competitor SumUp is not really. I mean, they're firing some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You
Are they here today, or I don't know? Like,
there are some people. Yeah, maybe we can ask. But how's it going at Payleven? Are you guys doing okay?
no, it's good. I mean, we're very, very happy with the development so far. So we just announced last week a big deal with an Italian bank called Poste Italiana. It's the largest retail bank in Italy. They're going to market our solution in Italy. We went live with MediaMarkt also last week, who are distributing our chip and pin solution as part of the retail offering, which is a completely new way of marketing card acceptance solutions, right?
Yeah.
So before you had like a key accounter coming into your restaurant and telling you that it's great and all that kind of, and giving you an ugly device that took ages to set up, and then you had to pay a monthly fee for 3 years in the contract and all that kind of stuff. Now you can just walk into MediaMarkt or also an Apple store where our devices are also sold. You pick it off the shelf, you buy it, you register, and 5 minutes later you can take card payments. So in that sense, we're changing, the way card acceptance solutions are marketed and are brought to market. And those are 2 deals that just came live, which are really big for us. For the individual markets, Germany and Italy. So we think that will boost us towards Q4 and into more growth.
Yeah.
And so it's looking good.
Yeah, okay. So okay, you're at Payleven, you're the chief marketing officer, you have this huge budget. How do you spend your money? On what kind of strategies? Because these are the things that a lot of people often want to know. So how does a big CMO of a big company does these kind of things?
It's the concept of, to a certain extent, thinking a lot before you act, and then testing, refining, and being open to learn still holds, even if you have perhaps a slightly larger budget than others. Because at the end, we don't just walk around and fire left, right, and center randomly into different corners and hope that something sticks. You still need to test in small scale, and then if it works, you grow it larger. If it doesn't work, you stop it and you do something else, and then that's a process that continues, right? Especially.
How long are these trials?
Well, it depends a bit on what you do. I mean, in the sense, for example, in online marketing, you can test things probably much quicker than in offline, because for example, let's say you want to test conventions, right? So you go to different conventions. I mean, they're not a convention every single day close to you, right? So that's stuff that goes a bit longer over time.
Yeah. So the online campaigns, how long do these cycles last?
I mean, in some instances, you can see after the first couple of days, even or sometimes couple of weeks, like 2 to 4 weeks, you can see first results and then refine and tweak it as you go along, right? And then sometimes it doesn't work at all and you stop it. If it works, you put more money to it. And I think that's ultimately the beauty of having a bit more money. You can put more money to it if it works, and that's the freedom that you have. But at the same time, with it comes also a degree of responsibility that you should be still mindful of where you put the money, because there are investors who ask where the money went.
Do you think you will grow old in this company?
I hope.
Yeah, is that your goal?
Yeah, I think we have. I think we have a lot of stuff still to do. There's a long path, because ultimately we started as a mobile payment company offering a card acceptance solution. Now the goal for us is to really become more than just a payment provider, but rather a solution provider for small and medium-sized enterprises to run their business better and more efficient, right? And because of that, there's so many problems that if you run your own store, you're head of marketing, head of logistics, head of everything, mainly, because you're the guy who's running the show. So you have to solve every single problem that comes up in your company. And where we, as Payleven, can help all the small business owners of the world to solve large problems that they have in their mind, that's where we want to be. And I think since there's still so much to do, I think we have still a long way to go in terms of product development and also branding ourselves and marketing ourselves. So I can envision staying there for a long period of time. Yeah.
I thought it was super old-fashioned to say that you want to spend the rest of your life in a company.
Yeah, but why not? Sometimes you need to go against the trend, and retro is in, so there you go.
Okay, give it up for Konstantin and Jonas. Before we go to the music, and the people who have been more often to the FridayatSix show know that they now have the chance to just, give their opinion about certain things, ask questions, or tell what your company does, introduce your company, so that in the networking part after the show, people will come to you and ask you, oh, that's interesting, I also have this kind of idea. Before we do that, I also want to say that we're going to listen to some live music at the end of the show. But first, as said, it's time for the open mic. So the microphone is there behind me. If there are some people, and I got some emails, that want to say something, want to ask a question, a comment, want to introduce their idea to the general audience, they can now do so. And I got an email, I think, of Tavez. Is Tavez here? Is that the name you give to me right now? Oh, sorry. Was it another name? Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. Didn't you want to be in the open mic? The microphone is there, but yeah, we need, if somebody wants to do the open mic part of the FridayatSix show, come to me after the show. So this is a typical open mic thing, because I could use you. So please introduce yourself and tell us what you need.
Hi, my name is Tejas, and I'm the CEO, founder, innovator, whatever. I love startups because you can choose your own title. That's so awesome. Yeah. What I do? Well, I'm from India, I live here, and I love both places, and I want to connect them. What's the problem here in Berlin? We are sitting in the bank, lots of money around here, but a startup knows that to get like 30,000, 50,000 euros in your pocket and get your product running, to hire your mobile web other programmer and really build a quality solution, it's not that easy, because it's Berlin. There are 3,000 startups, or even more, so you don't really know where to find your people, and, well, not every bank gives money to everyone. So what I do, I connect India and Berlin, but hey, wait a moment, is he talking about outsourcing? I hate this thing. No. So this is what I want to, what's the word people use? Like completely change? Yeah, disrupt the outsourcing industry. What I do is that when you have a team in India which you can afford, okay, well, we are cheap, fine, you use it, but don't suck us off. How about a fair trade outsourcing model where it's completely transparent? You get to choose the people that will work for you. You get to go there, work with them. You get to bring them here. And best of all, it's not a random person doing your job. Because it's a new culture, a new language, there is a person from that country sitting next to you here in Berlin who will be with you every day to helping you manage it all. And on top of it, you get Scrum and Kanban trainings and culture and language and the whole sweet, nice candy package. And in the end, everybody is happy because, well, yeah, I did this for nearly 7 years and I know that people really like it and it works because it's transparent and communicative. That's what we do.
So I have to look behind me. Are there any more people? So the difference is, a friend of mine told this, that in Silicon Valley, they don't have a Friday at 6. They don't have anything like this. This is really amazing compared to Silicon Valley. But in Silicon Valley, if you would ask, okay, you now have the chance to come forward in a live streamed web show, there would be 20 people at the microphone. But what happens in Berlin? Nobody comes up to the microphone. There are no people who want to introduce their company to a live streamed web show. I mean, there's more. Okay, please step forward.
First of all, thanks, Dirk, to that great show tonight here at norisbank. My name is Thomas. I am the co-founder and managing partner of Pitchfreunde. We are another show, a mobile-only pitch event here in Berlin. We started at 2nd of September at Amazon Web Services here in Berlin. And I would like to invite you to the next mobile pitch event in 4 weeks here in Berlin. And of course, I would like to see you all there at Pitchfreunde. Thanks.
Give it up for Thomas! Yay! Oh my God, it is so hard. Amazing job. So, I mean, are there maybe some others who want to do this? I'm looking into the camera, so I cannot see behind me if there are other people. Yes?
My name is Joel Dietz. I'm the founder of Evergreen. Evergreen provides a digital currency that was designed to build community and encourage collaboration. And it's backed by things of real, tangible value. So part of our value proposition to the customers is to take things that people recognize have value, including rainforest that's in need of environmental protection, including community projects, and including a basket of regional currencies so that people can convert back into them when they need to. And we also provide all of the infrastructure that you need to do payments in this currency. So we have an app that's on the App Store. It's called the Evergreen app. And you can see more about it and how it all works on our website, evr.gr. So.
Thanks a lot, Joel. Very nice. And I now remember that there are a lot of people from Innovestment, right? Innovestment is also a financial startup in Berlin. Isn't there one person from Innovestment who says, maybe this is a chance? And they're now all standing in a group and thinking, who is going to do this? Okay, please give it up for, Kristen.
You know I love this, right? So hi, I'm Christina, I'm from Innovestment, and we create the most awesome crowd investing platform on earth. So we are right now in a relaunch period. Me and my colleague Thomas Herzog, who maybe some of you know already, he's such an entertainer, more than me. So yeah, please, we keep you updated in the next month. A lot of happening, and if you ever need money, please have a look at www.investment.de, and maybe we can help you.
Give it up for this brave woman, Kristen from Innovestment. So this was my little fun for the whole month, so to say, to push people forward, to really speak up, to go for your idea. I mean, you're not for nothing working every day, 16 hours on this idea. So also do something with it then. That's my personal message to you tonight. This was also the Friday at 6 talk show for this month. We're going to end with some lovely songs of Mélinée, accompanied on the cello by Samira. And the only thing that I now have to do is to say to you, hope to see you next month. Then we are at SAP at the Rosenthaler Strasse, doing a show about big data. And rest assured that the first question at SAP will also be, are you really a startup? Because Okay, these big corporations are nice, but maybe sometimes they have to be really innovative. And I also want to praise the norisbank for organizing this event and making it possible, getting drinks and food out here and making it possible for this live show to be held. So final applause before we go to the music for the norisbank.
Caboche, pourtant j'ai Berlin dans ma poche et les ruines d'un supermarché qu'on squatte comme une cour de récré. Je me réchauffais en allemand avec la Spree pour ornement, la ferme des tours comme ma boussole qui exhibe son unique guibole. Elle, contrairement à moi, se lève toujours du pied droit, le privilège de son espèce et qu'elle peut jamais être à l'ouest. Les jours où la vie me capture, me revoilà au pied du mur. Mes méandres sont des graffitis sur les cendres de la Stasi. Je m'évenais en allemand, faire le mur, quitter le présent, la fin des tours, comme alibi qui me joue des tours quand elle rougit. Elle, contrairement à moi, n'est pas sujette aux aléas. Elle brille au ciel comme une ampoule sans ne jamais perdre la boule. L'enduit de vin pour Vittenau s'aligne les cabanes de Prolo, sinon des entrepôts fermés, irrigue les jardins ouvriers. Je voudrais décrire en allemand le poids des soupirs, le bruit du temps à la fin des tours, comme symbole d'une mise à jour des métropoles. Elle, contrairement à moi, supporte toutes les chaînes à la fois, elle brille au ciel comme une ampoule sans ne jamais perdre la boule. Berlin, tu fraudes l'overdose à force de métamorphose. La fêlure, ton identité s'estompe dans l'uniformité. Je voudrais sceller en allemand la liberté au premier plan, la fin des tours comme témoin du crépuscule de Berlin. Elle, contrairement à moi, ne se met pas dans tous ses états. Pour peu que le Tarlès succombe, elle restera de pierre comme une tombe. Sur les planches, vêtues d'une chemise noire ou blanche, comédien qui défie la franchise au quotidien. Sa vie sous la peau d'un autre, le temps d'une scène, la nuit. Noir bon apôtre, quand l'ombre l'enchaîne comme une image qui bouge dans la lumière des phares. Mille visages, peau rouge, artilleur du hasard, qui deviendra tragique quand s'oublie la réplique. Sur les planches, répétées du lundi jusqu'au dimanche, comédien comédien creuse la poésie d'un chemin. Ils s'aiment en 2 ou 3 actes, une destinée promène comme un acrobate, son ombre portée comme le clown se meurt. Pour la vie d'une claque, l'artiste se tourne et pleure pour mûrir le spectacle. Il respirera encore quand son nom sera mort. Sur les planches, en arlequin qu'on tire par la manche, comédien, aux coulisses du pire se retient. Il lui, quand le maquillage remplace le masque, trahit le secret du sage d'un éclat fantasque, comme le clown se meurt pour la vie d'une claque. L'artiste se tourne et pleure pour mûrir le spectacle. Il respirera encore quand son nom sera mort. J'ai le cœur qui penche en arrière. Je dépose un pied hésitant sur les cailloux toujours glissants de la vie qui s'échappe comme une rivière. J'ai beau remuer ciel et terre pour chasser le roi de naguère. Son regard est toujours vivant, il respire à l'ombre du vent. Il vit au creux de mes chansons et dans ma chair. J'ai beau remuer ciel et terre pour épouser la vie entière, pour faire du bonheur mon galant, de la confiance mon amant. Peu s'en faut qu'en un rien de temps je désespère. J'ai beau remuer ciel et terre, vais-je parvenir à te plaire? Si mes abords semblent troublants, je doute fort de mes talents. Je crains que ton illusion soit passagère. J'ai beau remuer ciel et terre, nos corps retourneront poussière pour toujours aller de l'avant. Moi la spectatrice du temps, il en faut de l'espoir parfois, de la colère. J'ai beau remuer ciel et terre, ne cultive aucun mystère. Les gens paraissent édifiants lorsqu'on les raconte en chantant, mais c'est un peu comme une bouteille à la mer. Samira Ali an der Cello, dankeschön. Unsere Auftritte sind auf www.mélinée.fr. Dankeschön.